Can you fucking believe it? Maybe if I'd have maybe if I just started just a fresh stream straight away, maybe it would have worked, you know. But I'm quite a determined chap, you know. I was determined to sit there and think, you know what? Fuck yeah, I will stick this right the way out and just carry on no matter what, and just hope that someone watches this. It's now 11:35. I started the live stream at 10 o'clock, and it took an hour and 35 minutes. An hour and 35 minutes of watching the wheel of death go round and round and round, because I'm just I'm a determined man, you know. Now there's no one watching me right now, but it doesn't matter, because this will still be uploaded, and I'm still determined to end this at midnight, and because I need to be up, and there are plenty of you guys that need to be up in the morning. So I've learned from this, and I think next time this happens, what I'll do is I'll give it 5 minutes of the wheel of death, and if it doesn't work, then what I'll do is I'll restart, do a complete and total restart of as a live stream, instead of it being a timed one, because historically what's happened is, when something similar to this has happened, not for you know, an hour and 35 minutes, that's never happened. So so what I'll do next time, if I'll give it sort of 5, maybe 10 minutes of the wheel of death, and if nothing's happening, I'll do a complete and total restart of the live stream and just start all over again. And it does test one's patience. Because even though this is an old laptop, it's still functional. It is, because it's proven to be. And yeah. Yeah, this might end up being the shortest live stream that I've ever done. You know, I did a test live stream. I can't remember how long that was for. Right at the start, let me have a quick look, just out of curiosity. You know, we pulled off nearly a 9-hour live stream at one point, which is good going. It's a marathon of a live stream. But the first one, was 42 minutes. So because I will be cutting this off at midnight, that gives us 20 minutes. So probably about, 25 minutes in all? A 25-minute live stream. 2025 level of technology, and couldn't do a live stream. An hour and 35 minutes of watching this thing go round and round and round, going live, and then I reset everything and then started a fresh live stream, and within seconds it kicked in, you know. So I'll cover a couple of things, and just a couple of things, because I know people watch the live streams after they've been live. I do feel a bit deflated from this because it's fucking annoyed me, you know. That's an hour and 35 minutes of my life of watching a circle go round and round and round and round. And yeah, it's fucked me off. It has. It has fucked me off. And, you know, some people think I might be a bit paranoid, you know. And then there are some people that know that I'm absolutely not. And I've also said in various videos that paranoia can be your best friend. It can be your best friend. It really can. It keeps you on your toes. It does. And again, I know that most of you guys have heard this before. Paranoia can be your best fucking friend. It can. As long as you have control of it and it doesn't have control of you. Oh, Sal Mishra, thank you for joining me. I am going to be. When I turn around, when I say that I'm going to do something, I stick to it. You know, I have to. So I will be shutting down at midnight. You know, but if you watch I posted a short, you know, showing that I was online. I was ready for you for a 2-hour live stream. The first short that I tried to upload, I took a screenshot and I saw something come up underneath the video, the short that I was trying to post, the problem I was having, and I got a message that I'd never seen before, and oh man. Yeah, thanks, Sal Mishra. You know, you see, loyalty. I am so fucking loyal. I am so loyal. You know, if you find me into your life as a friend, you know, I'm so fucking loyal. I'll take a bullet for you. If you make it into that very small circle. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. You know. But I don't think this is normal. You know, I turned my Wi-Fi off on my phone so I wasn't dragging the Wi-Fi from my phone. And I've not had these problems before. And I cleared the cache on the. I said all this in the short. You know, there's no reason for it to be going around for it. But I will if it does that again, I'll give it 5-10 minutes and I'll start a fresh live stream. We've got to try and find ways. You see, human beings are at the top of the food chain because we're problem solvers. We find solutions, especially preppers. You know, we're in a whole new fucking category of humans because we're solution based. We identify issues, we identify problems, and then we come up with a solution. That's what we do. Individually, sometimes that can be a problem. As a collective, we are fucking formidable. And that's what they fear. And do you know what? This wasn't actually part of this, but I wrote this down earlier on. This is what I wrote. Sometimes I think about things. Sometimes I forget to write them down and forget about them. Sometimes I write them down. Life always feels harder when you're about to reach a new level. Push through, keep going, don't give up. Pressure makes diamonds. And that's where we're at now. We're reaching another level. So I think many of you guys all relate to a certain point where you were already kind of awake-ish, you know, but there was a certain point, and most of us reached that point at the start of COVID. But a lot of people reached that point at 9/11. That was a massive, massive justice to society and a massive injustice to all of the people that died in those two towers and the other building. So, but at that point of kind of really, really waking up, that moment, for me, it was like a 20-minute, half an hour thing, lying in bed next to Sal when COVID kicked in, when all of a sudden it was like a boom, a very, very, very uncomfortable, frightening, I don't really know how to explain it, because it was like everything all came together all at once. You know, I think most of us have always been awake to some degree or another, but there was a pivotal moment in most of our lives, in all of our lives. There's no exception, I don't think. In all of our lives, there was a pivotal moment that you'll never, ever, ever, ever fucking forget, ever, because it was that powerful. Like being hit by a fucking train. And that was mine. 9/11 did make me think, but it was nothing on the scale of what happened to me that night. Nothing. And then there were subsequent events after that were just bang, 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 you know? And miraculously, I managed to hold on to my fucking sanity. And then some. It doesn't mean I don't struggle, you know? I struggle. From time to time, I struggle. You know, everyone seems to, not everyone. I think there are some of you that see through it. You know, there are a lot of people out there that think that I'm strong. You know, that I'm some sort of impenetrable strength of a man. You're wrong. And right. It's the most fucked up combination you can imagine. So, yeah, I am strong. I am strong, but I fucking feel it at the same time, you know? And I mean, I feel it. So it's a mixture of I think sometimes the saying, I get knocked down, but I get up again. It doesn't sound much, does it? But it is. It's massive. It makes a massive difference on how quickly you get back up again, because it's important. It's important on how you get back up again, on how fast you do it. and how able you are to absorb the information that you're getting on a daily basis. Because that night when I was lying next to Sal and I had this kind of download of information that all snapped into place, it knocked me for fucking six. It was tough because I had so much other stuff going on. So I've had some mini versions of that happening. Now, if they'd have happened back then, it would have probably have crushed me because it would have just been too much fucking overload. But because of what's happened, I think I'm able to absorb it a bit more, a bit better now. It's still quite impactful, but I'm able to take it on, you know. I've started to build up a structure of what I feel is happening in the world now. We've only got 8 minutes left. But I genuinely believe that what I've learned is the truth, is the reality. I think that all of us are on a path of trying to get to the truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. We should all be looking for the truth, because the truth is absolute. There's nothing above the truth. Nothing. Everything falls under that. Everything. And what I've learned, it's tough going. It's tough going. It's a fucking lot to absorb. And thanks, Sal Messera. And my main aim was never to get loads of subscribers, was never to become a massive, well-known channel, was never to be infamous or make money or none of that. It was all about trying to get the right people, you know, because there's a specific finite amount of people that are like me. So some people watching this might think like me, so and then misinterpret that. I don't really know how else to explain it. I'm obviously going to be able to struggle to to fit into a few minutes really of what I wanted to talk about, and maybe that was fate, because I might have got carried away, because last year in July I took a couple of days off because I was thinking to myself, there have been people sent to jail for memes and opinions, just opinions, gone to jail. And I was talking to someone earlier on that I think a lot of, one of our little tribe that I've never met, but I talk to, you know. And when everything kicked off last year, I took a couple of days off to have a think, you know, about the consequences of me just being me and just talking and just being me, you know, and just talking. And thinking about consequences, and it's consequences that's holding everyone back. So I knew that holding back was not going to be a good thing, because you can't encourage people to lead by example if you're not going to lead by example. And I don't like hypocrisy. So I came back and had a good think about it. I had a good think about it, and then started talking again, and I realised that the people that they put in prison were soft targets. I am not a fucking soft target, which is why I've not had a knock on the door. So, and I'm posting memes and shit like that, left, right, and centre, not on Facebook, because my comments, my posts, they go nowhere. They say sent, but they're not. They're not. They never are. So after that couple of days of reflection, I was back in the game, you know, and that was it, you know, on it like a fucking car bonnet. But what I've learned recently, and what's kind of connected in my mind and what's clicked together has made me think, really, for the first time, or did make me think for the first time, really think, like properly think, I need to be careful. And that's quite a dilemma for me, because I can't turn around to people and say, fuck consequences. If everyone was focusing on consequences, we'll get nowhere. You will be enslaved, and you will live on your knees for the rest of your life, if you're lucky. If you're lucky. So I've got to try and find some sort of balance for longevity without compromise. So that's one hell of a fucking balancing act. So, you know, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I don't think you can. You're either all or nothing. You're either all or nothing. And if you're all, You're all. If you're nothing, you're nothing. Nothing. So you can't say to people, lead by example, and then not do it, you know? So I'm going to be going away tomorrow, and you should never say you're going away online, but I'm just open. But I won't be taking any alcohol with me because I want to be appreciating that lack of fucking shit, that lack of I want to appreciate that lack of EMFs and the rat race just for a little while. So I won't be drinking, but I've had a couple of glasses of wine. But because it's cheaper than vodka to buy organic wine. So that's a treat. That's a treat for me. I'm only halfway down there. You'd know if I was pissed. So we've pushed past midnight. But I can't just do a 25-minute live stream. It's not right. It's not a live stream, is it? So I know I'm onto something, and I just feel like I need to maybe restructure my approach, but not compromise my approach. And I'm hoping everyone understands now why I wanted to keep the channel small, why I had to rename it. Because I just knew further down the line that at some point I would end up like this, you know, the pursuit of truth. That's everyone's pursuit. All of you guys are. I had a conversation earlier on where I was saying that some of us are in a constant pursuit of the truth, and then there are some people that don't fully want to know the truth because they know it will fuck their heads up. So rather than seek the truth, let's just seek on how to prepare. So, you know, a big chunk of us, of you, just want to know about prepping. Now, you can't prepare for what you don't know. Knowledge is everything. It's everything. The more you know, the more you can prepare. You know, that's common sense. It's common sense. Now, the truth can be the truth more often than not. The truth is uncomfortable. More often than not, you know. Maybe most truths are uncomfortable. but the more you take, the more you can handle. You know, I've said loads of times, you know, that I used in the early days, and to be fair, but at that time, I had to hold my dog while she was put to sleep, and my wife was given a death sentence. So sometimes the truth can be really, really fucking hard to take on board. So I would see notifications from people that aren't on YouTube anymore, because they were true, you know, truth warriors, proper. And I used to have to set myself up during the day to watch their content, build myself up for it. So what happens eventually is you get so uncomfortable, and you feel so stressed and so uncomfortable that you get to a point where you push through like a membrane, like being born again. And you get a second wind. Going back to this is it. This is, you know, life always feels harder when you're about to reach a new level. So that makes total sense to me. So I get to a new level, which is what happened then. You know, it was there aren't words. So I'm sort of going through that again with what I know. And, you know, to a lot of people, what I know is going to be uncomfortable for them, especially religious people, because it's going to mess with their heads. But the truth is the truth. But I do find some solace in the fact that I know that some of you know, I know for a fact, some of you know where I'm coming from, and you've done your due diligence, and you've done your research, and it's extremely fucked up. It really is, but it's not beyond hope, you know. If I told you there was no point in carrying on, if I told you there was no point in prepping, if I said it, you might as well just fucking give up. I'd tell you. You know, one thing that you can never ever accuse me of is not being honest. You know, I've always been honest. You know, I've not been right about everything, but I know I'm right about this. I know I am. There's a lot to take on board. You know, you have suspicions about this and suspicions about that. But when things start to piece together and your gut is telling you this is right, you know, don't follow your heart to find the truth. Your heart's got a different function. It's surrounded by neurons. It is. but it's not as many neurons, nowhere near as many neurons as your brain and your gut. Nowhere near. Look it up. This is factual science. So I'm just going to get a few things out of the way, and all I can do is apologise for the late live stream. It wasn't intended to be late. I'll end the live stream when I end this wine, and I'm not far off from doing that. Being really, going back to the whole sliding scale of being awake, that scale, that sliding scale, it's very real. It's very real. There are so many people out there that are convinced that they're awake and they haven't got a fucking clue. I got a very rude, abusive email from someone once, right? And just like anyone else that's abusive towards me, it's like, fuck, come on, let's meet up somewhere. Don't fucking talk to me like that. I will never, ever, ever take shit from anyone. Ever. Whether you're in uniform, whether you're not, whether you're a bodybuilding bastard or not, I will never fucking cave in. Ever. I'm too fucking stubborn. And determined. But that bastard, that abusive bastard, who should have worded his email way better, probably set me on a journey. And maybe his approach was actually very effective. I don't even know who he was, because my email is public. I'm going to try and fit as much as I can into as short a space of time as possible, and then I'm going to fuck off to bed, because I've got a lot to do tomorrow morning, and I need to get to Luna. Luna is what me and Sally always called our caravan, because it's actually called a Luna. I shouldn't even give this information out. But then, whatever. And I'm going to try and stop smoking. But stress, I am strong. I'm so fucking determined. You've got no idea. And the more people try and kick me down, the more I'll fight up and get on top and fight down. And you should be the same. I'm looking around at society and I'm seeing beta males everywhere. I went on that march in Nuneaton and I looked around, and all I saw all around me were matriarchs and alpha fucking males, and I felt at home, and Birmingham is going to test us all, and I'll be there. I'll fucking be there. I won't be taking the girls with me, because if shit kicks off, if the barriers of the police break, I need to be ready. I don't want them being involved in that. So Reverend Simon Sideways, he's got another channel called Man Up, right? Now, I don't fucking like that term. So if you're listening to this, Simon, because I know one of your mods was or is subscribed to this channel, Man Up is good and bad. It's bad, because I'll end that on a positive. It's bad because men need to express their emotions. They need to, because if they bottle it up, they either let it out in one go and take someone's fucking life, or they take their own. But bear that in mind. Maybe change the name of your channel. You can do it. You can edit it. On the flip side, there are so many fucking beta males out there that do need to step up to the fucking table and stand for their country and fucking fight, because that's the only option. So, what I've learned has made me feel quite uncomfortable about my safety further down the line, because I know that what I know is real, and whether you believe me or not is irrelevant. It's irrelevant to me. So the word Zionist, the word Zionism is, if you look it up, it means a safe place for my people, right? So when Bob Marley, he mentioned a lion and Zion, and Zion is a safe place for your people. So Zion is Israel as a safe place for Jews. Now, there are different types of Jews, and I believe that the vast majority of Jews, we've got at least one of our little tribe that I feel might feel alienated now from some of the stuff that I've said, and I need her to know that this is not. I hope that she's watching this so that she understands. Most Jews can walk down the street and you wouldn't know they were a Jew. You wouldn't know they were Jewish. And this kind of goes out to you, really, and anyone else that's not aware. So the Jews that have a relative, like a bit of a shaved head and the curls down the side. When I was a knocker, I used to go door to door selling. When I was 16 to 18, I traveled all over the country, and I went to Golders Green for the first time, and it was a bit of a culture shock, if I'm honest. And yeah, So I can guarantee there won't be as an Islamic infiltration in Golders Green. However, there is a massive connection between that particular type of Jew. Again, this is nothing to do with racism. I'm just pointing out observations and connections. There are, I believe that particular. Oh, she's drinking. See, I'm trying to push through this, but it's so hard. I don't think anyone can ever really understand how debilitating misophonia can be, unless you've got like an extreme version of it. It's tough going. It is. So they are doing the bidding of extremely powerful families that go back thousands and thousands of years, that have always had the same ethos of a long-term plan, long-term plan to preserve their bloodlines. This is the truth. This is the truth. I've had theories on things, and I might have got things wrong in the past. You know, Daffodil Gate is one of them, you know. But this is the truth. So they are doing the bidding of these big families, and these big families and this particular type of Jew are doing the bidding of and are in control of major players in the world, like and future live streams. I might end up sloping off from this sort of stuff, but I just need to get this off my chest, and then maybe focus on prepping further down the line. So when I said to you that the entire Trump administration was lobbied by Zionists, they use the word Zionist because when you look it up, it's like a safe place for our people, and it sounds righteous. It sounds good. You know, it's like, who doesn't want a safe place for their people? You know, who? I want a safe place for my people. I want a safe place for fucking England. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a white man in England or Scotland or Wales or Ireland or Sweden or Germany. Any part of England or any part of Europe. You know, stop making us feel bad for who we fucking are. So there's a massive connection between that particular side of Judaism. There are different types of Jew. Now, there are different types of Christian. So I need any Jewish people that are watching this now to understand that there are certain aspects of different types of your religion that are quite dark, that you might not know about. That's what I'm saying. This is not against you. I'm not having a go at the citizens of Israel. You know, and you know how I feel about Islam. I'm not having a go at everyone that's a Muslim, because I don't want to see babies and baby pictures, video footage of babies being blown up. Pictures, real footage. Nothing AI. It's mass scale murder, you know, and it's not right. It's not right. But there's a very, very, very close connection between that type of Judaism and Islam. There's a very, very massive connection, and these people are weaponizing Islam against the West. That's what we're seeing, so that they can complete their goal. So that they can, yeah, so that they can. It's so sick. So there are only two. There are only two extremely well-known mainstream religions or ideologies where they mutilate the genitalia of young boys, of young little kids, you know, just two. There are some very vague Oriental sects of Christianity that do it, but they're so vague, they're almost unnoticeable, really. You know, it's still wrong. It's still fucking wrong. You know, these are children. So what's the difference between female genital mutilation of children, girls, female children, right? What's the difference between that and doing it to little boys? The difference is that one is done so that the female can't experience sexual pleasure on her own, or feel urges to have sexual relationships with another man, or sexual sensations, you know, during sex. One of the most beautiful pleasures in life. And the other, with the boys, is ritual. So when you start looking at ritual ceremonies that involve the mutilation of genitalia, ritual, I mean, we could look, so they could throw back at us, well, what about paganism? You know, there are theories, that's all, that there were human sacrifices in paganism. But they all come from very biased sources, paganism, right? I'm not a pagan, just for the record, you know. I'm not a Christian either, for the record. I never claimed to be. I'm always honest. But there have been rumours of ritualistic killings of men and women in paganism, but theories, just theories, you know. So the only two very well-known mainstream religions / ideologies, because there's a fucking fine line between the two, between religion and ideology. There's a very fine line that's really difficult to decipher for some. And those significant connections, as far as ritualism is concerned, is the cutting off of a foreskin, and that is Judaism and Islam. One is controlling the planet. The other one has been weaponized against the West. So if anyone's watched any of the videos that I've posted, there's one video there that someone might watch and think, well, this is a bit much, you know, this is a bit bonkers. Do a bit of research, you know. I'm sick and fucking tired of shallow-minded people. Sick of it, sick of them, tired of them, bored of them. You see, is it racist for me to think that it's wrong? Is it anti-Semitic? I did a video years ago, probably 2 years ago, maybe a bit longer, maybe 2.5 years ago, where I said, am I anti-Semitic for thinking that it is wrong to cut off a young boy's foreskin, often without a local anaesthetic, for a ritual? That foreskin is there for a reason. You see, I do believe in a creator. I do, you know. So to any of you atheists out there, sorry, you know, but I'm not. But I'm more of an agnostic. If I'm not quite sure what I am, but I think the closest I could be is an agnostic. So there is a spiritual side to me. I do believe there's more to this. And I believe that we were designed perfectly designed. I was born with too many teeth, so I had quite a few taken out, but then I had a phobia. I didn't go back, so I've got a few too many teeth, which is why you've probably noticed I've got a few teeth that look a little bit graveyardy, you know. But I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter, because I'm me and I stand in my power. which is something that a lot of people don't do. But we should embrace who we are. We should embrace it, you know. Don't start looking at, I wish my tits were bigger, you know. I wish I had a smaller arse. There's certain things you can do about it naturally, you know. If you've got a big fat fucking arse, you can sort that out. You can. Eat less, eat better, do more. Certain exercises, you'll end up with an arse that blokes, you'll be batting them away from chewing into it. Trying to throw a bit of humour in there. We've all got imperfections, all of us, you know, but they are you. You are you. Embrace you. You know, everything you've got was meant to be. It was meant to be. Just, you know, children are children. And they're innocent. They are innocent. And we need to be protecting them. So chopping off their foreskin, and in some, you know, some eat the foreskin that's been chopped off and help to stem the blood flow of the cut with their mouth. You know, is that civilized? Is that normal? Is that okay? No, it's fucking not. I said in a video last year during the Northern Ireland, what if we were looking at Northern Ireland for 7 decades, would have been called the Troubles. Now, in Northern Ireland, that was the Troubles. It was because it was, I think they're starting to realise now that they've got a lot more in common than they ever imagined, and they're coming together, and we will too. But we need to be talking, you know. Dialogue is so fucking important. Interacting with people is really important. It's hard going. It's tough going. It is. You know, I get to the point where I think, oh fuck, I've had enough. Fuck them. And then before you know it, I'm talking to people again. You know, I feel like I've alienated myself from my club now to the point where I might not go back again. So I need to start learning to exercise at home. And that was a lifeline for me, but I can't close my mouth. And that puts me in danger further down the line. Now, Trump taking over Greenland. If only you knew. If only you knew. It's a strategic point for the American people. What a load of bollocks. You're being fed so many lies, you know. This is my last, I can't really call it a glass, so I'll call it a wooden goblet. I'm going to finish up on this and then go and get my head down. So I've always loved analogies. I'm trained to teach, you know, and I found that analogies are amazing teaching tools. They are, because they cross borders, they cross languages. You know, they do. They're amazing. Analogies are amazing. So, imagine society as a whole. right? And you're at a theatre, because most of what you are seeing is theatre, a distraction. It really is. Honest to God, it really is. So you've got the people in front row. These people in front row that are paid extra to be in front row are the people that have lost. They're lost. They're gone. They're gone because they've got no peripheral whatsoever. All they see is the act, right? Then you've got people in the stalls. Now, the people in the stalls and the people in the balconies and the upper level, these are the people that will wake up at their own pace, in their own time, at their own level, in their own ways, in many different ways. You were all there at some point. We are the people that are watching the show, watching the act right next to the exit doors, with the exit doors fully open, watching the world whilst we're watching the stage. That's us. That's us. I've gone 42 minutes past what I intended. Please take on board what I've said. Please watch the previous videos that I've posted. I don't want you to share anything if you don't want to. I don't want you to like, subscribe. I don't give a fuck. But please pay attention. And I'll hopefully send you a video of me a bit more relaxed and a bit more calm and a bit more chilled out from my caravan. So good night to you all. Sleep well and much love.